tell at an AA meeting. But yeah, I'm just very nervous to be here. It takes balls to be up here in your underwear. And it's not like I wish I had balls. Unless it's to do that thing that maybe you've seen your cousin's friend do at Fort Dodge. Where you're like, I sat in some gum. And these are my saggy silicone novelty balls I got a couple years ago. Really got me through the pandemic. And they're fun to wear around, but like I said, I don't really want to have balls, and I made that decision when I was 8 years old. Playing in the yard with my neighbor, he had a hole in his sweatpants so you could see his balls, and one was 3 times as big as the other one, because he had whooping cough when he was a baby, and he whooped himself for hernia. So that ruined balls for me. Fortunately, it didn't ruin sweatpants. I was the last kid in my grade to stop wearing them. And the first day I wore jeans to school, my 5th grade class gave me a standing ovation. So that's my villain origin story. But my neighbor was okay. I think he had just like hernia surgery and was fine, you know. 20 years later, he did get addicted to meth. And I don't blame myself. Because we're in Iowa, you know, meth is just everywhere. And I think it's just like everywhere. Because I was reading a story about a guy in California who was arrested by the DEA on drug charges. And they put him in his own cell, like in his own ward, and forgot about him. And this guy ended up doing some meth that he found in his cell, and then drinking his own pee to survive. And I read that, and I was so jealous. Because I want to do meth and drink my own pee. But I'm not just going to do those things, you know? I need like a good enough reason. This guy had a perfect alibi for both, and it was like survival, right? So it wasn't even weird. Survival, weird. Oh, I realized that like I could just do it for the bit though, right? I feel like comedy has made me really yes and about life. For instance, like this pro wrestler asked if I would suck his dick in his friend's car after his match. After his match, right? It's a sweaty day. Are you guys ever like eating unsalted nuts? You're like, maybe I don't even like nuts. Maybe I just like salt. Dicks are the opposite. Less salty, the better. And this has just turned into like a wash your dick PSA. And nobody's sponsoring me. I just dated a lot of drummers and skaters. So like there's repeated. So I didn't end up sucking this pro wrestler's dick. Because I think it's important, you know, to be yes and, but it's also important to have boundaries. And I do have a new boundary that I've been enforcing recently. And that's if someone starts giving directions to a place I don't need directions to, I just shut that down. Because maybe it's like the way my brain works, but hearing directions I don't need, it's like my foot is caught in a bear trap, and I would chew it off to escape. So someone's like, oh, my mom just moved to like East 33rd across from them. I'm like, that's none of my business. I don't need to know that. And I think boundaries are something that come with like age, you know, you get better at setting boundaries. And something else that comes with age is, well, have any of you guys ever found yourself wearing the shirt of the band that's playing at the grocery store? This happened to me recently. And it was like a Nirvana t-shirt, right? It wasn't like a Van Morrison denim vest or something. But I was like just reaching for a zucchini. I was like, rape me. No, it wasn't that song. But I do work at a grocery store actually. It's like a cool grocery store, it's the food co-op. And even though it's cool, we still have like these workplace politics, right? So I work like in the back of the store where we have this one tiny unventilated bathroom for us to share. But then the kitchen guys keep coming from the front, just blowing up the bathroom with their sweaty dumps. You smell the sweat, you smell the dump. How does that work? And then you can't use it for like hours. And I'm like, come on, I jerk off in there. we're on the bottom. But I guess only if I get caught. But one time I took a shit in that bathroom and it wouldn't flush. And okay, here's something about how brains work. Your brain has this idea of how the world works that comes from like your experiences, your education, whatever ideologies you buy into. And if you get information that conflicts with this worldview, your brain doesn't even recognize it at first. And you need like a critical mass of conflicting information, like 40%, before you even recognize it and then maybe acknowledge it and work it into your worldview. So when I shit in this bathroom and it wouldn't flush, I was like, if I just leave it, they're gonna blame it on the kitchen guys, right? That's who everyone expects to shit in here. So I did, and it was the perfect crime. The next day I kept hearing about, do you hear what those guys did to our bathroom? So a few weeks later, when I took another huge shit, but this one has period blood all over it. So before I wiped, I was like, what if I leave this here? It's like Stegosaurus pile from Jurassic Park, blood all over it, no toilet paper? That'll give them something to think about. And I think that's what art is. Giving people something to think about. So the art that I've been thinking about recently is this tattoo that my friend saw at a gas station cashier. And it was Tinkerbell, but her wings were Confederate flags. I don't think that's canon. But you can do whatever you want with tattoos. I mean, obviously. And I've got some dumb tattoos. But I've never objectively looked at them through someone else's eyes until recently when I had a full body skin cancer checked at the dermatologist. And then it was just like, older professional white lady just going over my skin. And I have so this one, it's a bee that's peeing and it says, "Fuck bushes, make honey." Which is an homage to Biggie's "Fuck bitches, get money." It's like wordplay. Which is why last month when my friends and I were driving home from the Shrek rave, which it should have been cooler than it was. We were trying to think of the names of countries that you could fit the word Shrek into. Shrexico. The Shrek Republic, formerly known as Czechoslovakia. And then my friend, who is historically trash at puns, whips out Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's next level geography. That's next level pun. Wherever we come from, we take a knee for that kind of stuff. So I dated a guy from Bosnia and Herzegovina for a while. And he's the only person that I peed on because he deserves it. It was like we were getting ready to go somewhere and he was wearing white pants and a white shirt. I was like, you gotta change one of those or I'm gonna pee on you. And he didn't, so I did. And if you're trying to picture it in your head, because I have a vagina, it's like hard to pee on someone who doesn't want to get peed on. If you have a dick, you can aim that pee wherever you want. Must be nice. Like say you want to drink your own pee, one of my bucket list items. If you have a dick, you can just water fountain. If you have a vagina, you get pee in a receptacle, drink it, great, more dishes. Now I bet you thought those were the only two options of things to pee out of. Penis, vagina, right? Because until recently, so did I. And then my friend told me about his brother, who in his mid-40s started oozing pee out of his belly button. Some kind of birth defect. And I heard that and I was so jealous. Not really. Everything about it does delight me though. And probably mostly because you could get it fixed, simple surgery. But what were the people who were peeing out of their belly buttons hundreds of years ago doing? Right? Getting called witches, I guess. If I was peeing out of my belly button in like the 1800s, I would have started a cult about it. And if I were to start a cult today, it would be based around the divination structure of discharge, Rorschach, copyright. It's a system I made up where you interpret, or you look at and interpret the stains in your underwear. And I think it's like a dying art, you know, because everyone's on their phone in the bathroom these days. No one's looking at their underwear. And I know it works, because last winter, my friend, she was going to come into town, but she was afraid, like, the roads were going to be too snowy. And I checked, and I'm like, discharge Rorschach said the roads are fine. And we were right. So, does anyone here want to ask the Oracle something? This is the only chance we'll get to do this. Any questions? Do you want to ask the discharge Rorschach?
We got your ear.
Go for it.
Where will I find my next job?
Where will you find your next job? Okay. Bad news and good news. Do you have an aunt who's died recently? No. Did you? Oh, maybe you stepped on an ant recently?
My uncle that died.
Oh! I think it was the ant that you stepped on. And so you're gonna stay in the area. But why not believe in that? We've all believed in like dumb shit, right? Like I used to believe in this conspiracy theory that my great-grandma told me when I was a kid, which is that if someone kissed you and you didn't wipe it off, it would leave a mark. So even today, you know, I know that's not true, but I still be wiping off those kisses, you know. Especially like, so my mom's shorter than me, and I'll hug her, and then she like kisses my neck, and I wipe it off. It's like a no homo for incest, you know? Even though I love homo, and I'm all for consensual incest. And think of the way that white people ruin everything. European monarchies took incest too far. Now we can't have nice things. And by nice things, I just mean like make out with your hot cousin without shame. Because shame sucks, it's not productive. Unless you're a guy who doesn't wash his dick, then more shame. But I think it's important to remember that even if you release yourself from shame, like you win, you're free, other people can still judge you. Like my friend moved into a new place and I went to visit her, and out the window I saw her neighbor, and I was like, hey, that's the lady who farted in yoga 10 years ago. And I get like everybody farts in yoga, right? That's fine. This was like, we were on our backs, rocking back and forth, but she was farting rhythmically. It was very memorable. And my friend's like, you know, if I had done something like that, you would have told me no one would remember that. I was like, well, I would have lied. Because we all have to lie to ourselves sometimes, you know, just to like keep things moving. And speaking of keeping things moving, I guess we got the rest of the show to do. I'm Max Power. I do have buttons after the show. I've got stickers. So come find me. Thanks.